Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be discussing Enamel, Dentin, Cementum, PDL, and Pulp by Sejal, Lewis, Ileana, Omar, and Lisa.
Development of tooth is a complex process. We have two sets of dentitions, primary and permanent dentition. Odontogenesis consists of 6 stages: initiation stage, bud stage, cap stage, bell stage, opposition stage, and maturation stage. Initiation stage occurs within the 6th and 7th week. It involves an injunction, is a signal from the ectoderm to the mesenchyme. Bud stage occurs within the 8th week. Proliferation occurs, dental lamina grows into the bud. Cap stage occurs within the 9th and 10th week. During fatal period, proliferation, differentiation, morphogenesis, the depression results creating the dental organ, dental papilla, dental sac. Bell stage occurs within the 11th and 12th week. 4 types of cells are formed in the enamel organ: outer epithelium, stellate reticulum, stratum intermedium, and inner enamel, creating the REE. 2 types of tissues are also formed in the dental papillae. Opposition and maturation stage. Enamel, dentin, and cementum are secreted into layers as matrix. Dental tissue types are fully mineralized and mature. Primary and permanent dentition. Eruption usually occurs within chronological order. Primary dentition consists of 20 teeth. Permanent dentition consists of 32 teeth. Reduced enamel forms and cause primary tooth to begin eruption. Here are a few clinical considerations with stages. With their stages disturbances, anodontia and supernumerary teeth occur within the initiation stage. Microdontia and macrodontia occur within the bud stage. Enamel dysplasia and concretes occur within the opposition and maturation stage, as well as stems and dentae.
Now we're going to talk about the enamel. The enamel is a hard outer layer of the tooth. It is made up of 96% inorganic material that, once it is mature, it's the hardest calcified tissue in the body. The formation of enamel happens during the opposition stage, and the formation is called amelogenesis, which you can see here. While enamel is a very hard substance, it is not unbreakable. Some of the ways that enamel can break or wear down are through attrition, abrasion, erosion, caries, and abfraction. Depending on the size of the damage, the enamel layer may need to be repaired, or the damage could also have exposed the second layer of the tooth, the dentin. The dentinal layer is much softer than the enamel and will not only cause hypersensitivity due to the dentinal tubules, but also cause tooth decay. Enamel has no living cells, so it is not able to regenerate on its own, but there is a possibility of remineralization with certain synthetic materials. Fluoride is a mineral that occurs naturally and can be found in some food and water. Fluoride is also used in dental offices. Fluoride is known to help prevent tooth decay. If fluoride is ingested at higher levels, it can be harmful to the tooth, especially during the developmental process. It can cause fluorosis, which will give the tooth an intrinsic stain that is yellow and brownish in color. Some enamel considerations are if there is a developmental disturbance, it can cause additional enamel specules on the tooth called enamel pearls. Also, some areas on the tooth that appear to be decay could also be a non-cavity lesion, meaning that the discoloration or anomaly is caused by demineralization. Dentin is the second layer of the tooth, and it is made up of 70% inorganic material. This is the layer that was discussed previously that can cause sensitivity and decay of the tooth, which could grow into the pulp chamber. There are a few layers that make up the dentin: peritubular, intertubular, mantle, circumpulpi, primary, secondary, and tertiary dentin.
What is cementum? Cementum is part of the periodontium that attaches the teeth to the alveolar process by anchoring the PDL. It consists of 65% inorganic material. When cementum is exposed due to gingival recession, it can feel grainy compared to the dentin and enamel. This can cause chronic infection of the pulp. Cementum develops from a dental sac and forms on the root dentin after the disintegration of hers. The DCJ is formed from the appositional growth of cementum over dentin. The cementum is composed of a mineralized fibrous nutrition cells, showing the Sharpe fibers on the right image. Each cementocyte lays in its lacunae. These cementoblasts can form subsequent layers of cementum if the tooth is injured. We have acellular cementum and cellular cementum. They're complete opposites, one at a slower, one at a faster rate. Clinical considerations. We have symmetrical spurs that are similar to enamel pearls, and hypercementosis, which is excessive production of cellular cementum at the apex. Pulp is radiolucent on radiographs, and it forms from the central cells of the dental papilla. It serves nutritional roles for itself, also for the dentin. It plays a protective role as well. Here we have the pulp changer, corona pulp, pulp horns, radicular pulp, apical foramen, and accessory canals. Pulp is composed of intercellular substance, tissue fluid, certain types of cells, lymphatics, vascular system, nerves, and fibers. Pulp stones are occasionally found within the dental pulp. Pulpitis is typically localized within the confines of the dentin.
Periodontal ligament. So the PDL occupies the space between cementum and the alveolar bone, and it is an organized fibrous connective tissue that also maintains the gingival tissue in proper relationship to the teeth. The PDL has a vascular supply, lymphatics, and nerve supply, which enters the apical foramen of the tooth to supply the pulp. So on radiograph, PDL appears radiolucent and cementum appears radiopaque. There are similar types of cells present in PDL. So the fibroblast is the most common one, and fibroblasts are responsible for forming and remodeling the PDL fibers. All other cells, including fibroblasts, they act together to send supplied physical forces and respond to them by maintaining PDL width and preserving cell viability. There are 5 PDL fiber groups. First is alveolar crest group is located on the cervical root, which resists vertical and intrusive force. Horizontal group is located on the midroot to adjacent alveolar bone proper, which resists horizontal and tipping force. Oblique group is located on the apical 1/3 of root, and it resists vertical and intrusive force. And then apical group is located on the apex of the root, which only resists vertical forces. Interradicular group is only found on multi-rooted tooth because it is located between the tooth and it resists vertical and lateral movement. There are 2 clinical considerations are common: orthodontic therapy and occlusal trauma, which is caused by grinding, clenching, and wearing braces, Invisalign, or retainers, which can disrupt PDL. And then radiation-induced bone defect, damage to mature bone, which can affect the decrease in matrix formation and increase in bone resorption. The most common area is the posterior of the maxillary and mandible. To minimize this adverse effect of radiotherapy, early detection of bone injury is important. Recently, it has been demonstrated that more than 50% of patients under therapeutic radiation therapy exhibited PDL widening, and most cases were not detected until 2 years after radiation.
Tissue renewal and repair. Tissue properties. Tissue is a group of cells that have similar characteristics and functions that work together as a unit. Intracellular matrix is a non-living material that may contain substances like salts and fibers that give tissue their distinctive characteristics. Most tissue in the body undergoes regeneration. Enamel is the example of tissue that does not undergo regeneration. This is a table of the tissue types. Epithelium tissue forms the covering of all the body surfaces, lining body cavities, and hollow organs, and are the major tissue glands. It is categorized into 2 main components: simple and stratified. Turnover occurs as a result of cell division during the regeneration process. The overall mucosa has a turnover time of 14 days. Connective tissue binds structures together, forms a framework, and supports the organs and the body as a whole, stores fat, transports substance, protects against disease, and help repair tissue damage. Most common cell in all connective tissue is the fibroblast. 90% of the body of fetal tissue is composed of type 1 to type 4 collagen. Turnover of the skin and oral mucosa occurs as a result of the production of fibers and intercellular substance by the fibroblast during regeneration. Muscle tissue is composed of cells that have a special ability to shorten and contract in order to produce movement of the body parts. 3 types of muscles: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. Smooth and cardiac muscles are automatic nervous system. Skeletal muscles are considered somatic nervous system. Nervous tissue is found in the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. It is responsible for coordinating and controlling many body activities. Nerve tissue is driven from the neuroectoderm within the embryo. A neuron is a functional cellular component of the nervous system. It is composed of 3 parts: 1 neural cell body, 2 different types of neural cytoplasmic pulses, has 2 functional types of nerves, afferent and efferent nerves, and it has 2 nervous system divisions: central nervous system, peripheral nervous system. These are our references.